Now, here's the truth. Okonkwo did not fall because he was weak. He fell because he was too proud, too rigid, cannot bend. He can't bend it. Okay guys, today let's talk about Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. I'm not just going to summarize it. I want you to actually understand it, because this story is not just about one man. It's about pride, it's about change, and it's about fear. It's about what happens when someone refuses to bend. Now listen carefully. When something cannot bend, it breaks. That's the main point of the story. Before Chinua Achebe wrote this novel, many Europeans were writing about Africa like it had no culture. We Africans, we are described by the Europeans as dark, primitive, and without culture. In novels like Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, Africans was presented as a place without structure or civilization. Like, we Africans, we are just wild and confused. And Achebe said, no, that's not true. So he wrote this book to show that the Igbo society had culture, we had government. Africa has been organized before the white men came. So this story is not just fiction, it is correction. He wrote Things Fall Apart in 1958 to show that Africans had deep culture. We Africans are humans with dignity. Okonkwo is a respected warrior in Umuofia. He is strong, he is wealthy, he had titles. He defeated Amaninze the cat in wrestling. That was what brought about his fame in the village. He had barns full of yams. And in Igbo culture, it represents someone who is wealthy and masculinity. But here is the key. Okonkwo is ruled by fear. His greatest fear was becoming like his father, Nunuka. He's a musician, he's lazy. He was considered a lazy man and weak. He didn't want to be like his father. Everything Okonkwo does was to run away from weakness. Okonkwo built himself from nothing. He farms, he fights, he earns titles and becomes powerful. Okonkwo built himself from nothing. A time came, Ikemefuna was given to the village as a peace offering because the village killed someone. So he was handed to Okonkwo. Ikemefuna becomes like a son to him. Though Okonkwo loved the boy, but he saw love as weakness, so he didn't want to, show it. And his first son, Okonkwo's first son, Umonye, also loved this boy. In fact, they go out together, they tell stories, my stories, and all of those things. Then the oracle decided that the boy, Ikemefuna, must die. And the villagers, the elders, they told Okonkwo not to take part in it because this boy calls him father. But Okonkwo does not want to be seen as someone who is weak. So he was like, if I should not take part in this, I'll be seen as someone who is weak. Then he killed Ikemefuna himself. This was the first crack in his foundation. After Ikemefuna's death, his son, Umonye, begins to withdraw from the father emotionally. No longer goes to meet the father for anything. Okonkwo started losing inner peace. Things begin to shift. So at the funeral, when they were celebrating, Okonkwo's gun mistakenly fired at a clansman and the man died. And that accident in Igbo land was called female crime. Even though it was an accident, in Igbo land, you must pay for the death of someone, taking the life of someone. So he had to go on 7 years. They have to send him out of the village, him and his family, to leave the village for 7 years. Now we have the arrival of the white men. The white men came while he was still in exile. But among the missionaries that came, we had Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown is a patient man, and he even tried to learn Igbo language. He also built a school and a hospital. So while Mr. Brown was on this mission, some of the villagers mocked him. Some listened, some combated. But the biggest shock was Umuyi, Okonkwo's son. He joined the church. So Okonkwo, it felt like a betrayal, joining an outcast. But to Umuyi, it healed and answered his pain because of the death of Ikemefuna. Okonkwo killed Ikemefuna because he didn't want to look weak. But he never knew that this action pushed his son, Umuyi, away from him emotionally. Now, Umuyi finds comfort somewhere else, and things begin to fall apart. Not suddenly. So after his exile, he came back. He gathered some of the leaders of Mafia. He said, "You should go and burn the church." Which he was later, him and the leaders were later arrested. They were captured. They were beaten. Their heads were shaved off. In fact, they were humiliated. People was expecting that, the former, if they thought they are still the same former Mafia, that they will rise up and fight. But the people were divided. Some changed, some were converted, some were afraid. So there was no unity. So let me break it. So at the village meeting, a colonial messenger was sent to stop that meeting. And Okonkwo came. Killed the messenger. He thought the clans, his people, will follow him. And yes, time for war. But nobody moved. Everybody, they were afraid. Everybody for their own head. At that moment, he knew that the Mafia that he knew was gone. Now, here's the truth. Okonkwo did not fall because he was weak. He fell because he was too proud, too rigid, cannot bend, can't bend it. And if something cannot bend, it what? It breaks. Okonkwo knew that he cannot adjust to this new Mafia. So he decided to do what? Break himself. So Okonkwo committed suicide. And in Igbo culture, suicide is abomination. Your people cannot bury you. They can't even touch your body. It was the white people who buried him. Now, here is the final insult. The district commissioner said he will write a paragraph about Okonkwo in his book. A whole life has been reduced to a paragraph. It was not just colonialism, it was internal weakness plus external pressure. So when pressure meets something that refuses to bend, this is a pressure, it doesn't want to bend. It does what? It breaks. I'm not going to break my pen. That is the message Chinua Achebe was trying to send. Here's what I have to say concerning this book. Is that strength without wisdom can destroy a man. And fear of weakness can create the very weakness you fear. And that's it. That's why things fall apart. That's all you need to know about Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. In my next video, we're going to be talking about themes. Here are the themes. We'll treat it in our next video. Bye.